Hey, Gil here, and today I'm going to show you guys how I drive luxury cars like these and like these, not only for free, but how I actually get paid to drive these, and how you can too. So if you want to learn how to drive these luxury cars and make money at the same time, stay tuned. So a little background of how I got started with this, right? I was actually renting a car to drive down to Key West. I live in Miami. And I heard on actually the Joe Rogan podcast that there's this new app called Turo, which is the Airbnb for renting cars. Airbnb is a place where you can put your apartment to rent if you don't know what it is. So Turo is an app that you can rent out your own car and make money from it. So I decided to rent a car on there because they had different models and they were a little bit more affordable. And my buddy came up to me and said, hey Gil, the price that we're renting this car for 5 days actually makes this person's entire car payment. So that gave me an idea, and I said, hey, why don't I just buy one of these cars, put it up on this website for 10 days out of the month, make money on it, and drive a nice car while I'm at it. So fast forward about a year later, and I have a Porsche and a BMW that I put on there, and they actually make me money every month. Now sure, it's kind of a hassle, so you do have to run like another business, and I wouldn't recommend doing 2 or more cars unless you're actually trying to make a business out of this, which can actually be a profitable business. I'll show you on my computer in a bit how much money I've actually generated from literally owning these cars. I'm also going to show you a little bit about how you can go about buying this, whether you want to lease it or own it, and your options when it comes to all that. And I'm also going to share things like what I wish I knew when I started. So let's go ahead and jump over in my computer right now, and I'm going to show you guys detailed step by step how I do this, how you can do this, and how much money I actually make. So this is Turo. This is, as you can see, I don't know if you've been on Airbnb.com, but it's kind of a similar feel. And pretty much you just put which city you're in. So pretty much you enter the city. They also have an app where you can go current location. Just type in Miami, which is where I live. Dates are fine, whatever. Just to show you how it works. So here you can pick which car you want to use. You can set up filters and pick which make and model and all that stuff. And then you just go in and decide which one to rent. So the way it works is they just have to approve you. You sign up, you send your license in and some other stuff, and they approve you. And once you check out, you can even add insurance. They have their own separate insurance if you don't want to use your own. And it's pretty good because you can drive all these other cars that these car rental places don't do it, and without the hassle as well. That looks cool. It's usually a huge hassle to go to a car rental place. They charge all these fees. Turo has some fees too, but I prefer it. I don't have to sign all these papers, and they have a bunch of cars that they just don't have in these regular places. Let me go into my dashboard. That's what you're gonna see. These are some upcoming trips I have on my cars. And let's go to vehicles so you can see them. Alright, so open that up. This is my BMW. Another cool thing is Turo actually pays for professional images, so that's why it says verified photos. So I got these images taken for free thanks to Turo. Makes the car look a lot nicer. And I did the description and everything. I made it look really professional, as you can see. Description. Made the description look really professional. Raises the amount of people who will rent the car. Right, guidelines. I always at the end I ask for reviews just so I can add reviews. This kind of just doesn't say exactly where it is, but this is where my building is. I offer free delivery to the airports as long as they rent it for at least 3 days. And what I actually do is, here I'll show you the exact. This is my Porsche. This is the pricing I have on it. Pretty cheap. I set the delivery over here. So in this dashboard, you can pretty much just edit everything, all your preferences, any options that they have available. So you can go in and just get your car exactly the way you want it. If you don't want it on weekends, you can not rent it on weekends. Photos, and then there's the details. You have to put in how much you let them drive for. I put 100 miles a day because I really don't want them, putting miles on my car. So if it's more than 100 miles a day, Turo charges them 79 cents per mile, which is cool. And then vehicle protection is where you choose insurance. So you clearly don't want your insurance knowing you do this. And you don't want to use it if somebody crashes it. So I have the standard Turo insurance. So they take 25%, which is kind of a lot, but I don't have any risk. And this is also up to $1 million in liability insurance. And Turo actually just improved their insurance, so a car is covered up to its cash flow up to $125,000. So you can have some pretty pricey cars up here if you want. Okay, so here are my expenses involved with this rental business, right? So first is my car payments, right? So the Porsche, I bought both cars. Now that I look back, it might have been better for me to lease the BMW, and I'll show you why after. So my car payment on the Porsche is $800, and the BMW it's $850. Insurance for both cars only cost me $450, which is really cool. And that's in Florida. An extra parking space, because my building only gives me one parking space, is another $220. So my monthly total is $2,320 for both cars. Okay, and let's calculate my profits. So now let me show you my profit. Okay, if I go here under host and click earnings, it shows my profits. This is what I made so far in 2018. See, January had a killer month. I made $5,170, and that's already with the Turo fees and everything taken off. In February, I made $1,134, and that's because I had to use the car a lot for February, and I think I had a wrong setting on there where they had to rent the car for at least 7 days to grab it, so I didn't make as much. In March is usually actually the best month, but one of my buddies was down for 2 weeks, and I allowed him to rent the Porsche for a lot less. I actually made a mistake. I wouldn't have given it to him so cheap if I knew it was in March. I thought he was coming in February, so it was just like a big mess for these 2 months. But still, I mean, they didn't make any profit these months where, I was using them a lot and I had to rent it for less of my friends, but still I almost paid for the whole car payment and all my expenses. April did really well again, made almost $4K renting them out, and missed earnings just means that I canceled the trip. So I think in April I had to use the car, so I had to cancel it on somebody. Same thing here in May, and May is not over and I'm doing this, it's just the beginning of May, so there's still a long way to go in the month, and they don't even talk about the earnings until after the car comes back. So made one of the car's payments so far, and I missed $600, so I had to use the car, so that's like another $600 that I could have made, but I didn't. So those are the earnings. We can add up, since May is not over, let's just add up April, March, February, and January. Okay, so let's do 170 plus 1134 plus 1741 plus 3976 equals $12,021. And let's see what the profits are. Right, so I made $12,021 between January and April. My expenses were $9,280, and I got that price by multiplying my monthly expense times 4 months. So my profit was $2,741, and like I said, I do this on the side. This is mainly just to help me pay for driving luxury cars around. I'm not doing this as a serious business. If you do this as a serious business, you can make a hell of a lot more money than this. Okay, so next, let's talk about the variables that you're going to experience when trying to run this type of business. Insurance is big. I would not use your own insurance at all. Make sure that they don't even know that you're doing this, or else they'll raise the rate. And make sure you're using Turo's insurance unless you just know some way that you want to use the other person's insurance or something like that to get 90% instead of 75% of the cost that you're charging your renters. You got to be careful wear and tear. That's like a big deal that I noticed after just getting the car. That you're gonna have to replace tires once a year, so you have to be able to think about that beforehand, because people sometimes will not take care of the car. So that's why I got a used Porsche, just to kind of try to make money from it and everything. And your car will have wear and tear, so you have to be on the lookout for that. Mileage, like I said, I only let them put 100 miles in per day on the trip, and that's to keep the mileage low. Sometimes, people want to drive, like I live in Miami, so people want to drive from Miami to Key West, and that's about 450 miles back and forth. So if they go over, you definitely want to charge it, because it's just going to take out the value from when you go to sell the car, or even if you're doing a lease, you don't want your lease to charge you a penalty. So be aware of that. And really good thing is the whole thing is like kind of a tax write-off. I mean, I'm not a tax professional, so talk to your accountant or whatever before you take my word for it. But you're able to pretty much write off the entire cars because they're machinery expenses. You're using them for your business. They are your business. It's not a personal thing. And at the end of the year, if you do over 20, I think $15,000 or $20,000, I think it's $15,000 with Turo, they'll send you a 1099, and you can write off your car payments as an expense. If you have a business, it's also an expense. So that's just a lot of tax savings at the end of the year. Now, what car should you get? Here's how I figured out that I wanted to get those cars. Now, you probably have something in your head, and it's like, oh, if you have a luxury car, I'm going to get that. But you should do the research first, because depending what area you're in, certain cars rent a lot better. Let me show you. Now, Turo has a blog that they tell you which cars perform well on Turo and where. So if you scroll through here, you find your state. They'll tell you pretty much which ones do the best, right? So find your city or state over here. And there's a part 2 as well, right? And then I'll show you how to actually research to see if it's true. So I came here, I live in Miami, so I checked recommendation, upscale roadster, which is why I bought the Porsche. The BMW was more for me, and then I bought the Porsche just as a sidecar to do this with. And here I'll show you the most favorite cars of 2016. I didn't see a 2017 version, but these are the most favorite ones in 2016, so you can go through here. But really the best way to do it is just to do research. So let's just go Turo. This is how you do proper research. Find a car. So first go to your area, type that in. I already put Miami. And I'm gonna pick a really far away date and just gonna do like 5 days on it. So I can include 4 or 5. Right, so now that should include, so now with these settings it should include most of the cars that are available. And I'm gonna really just look which ones have a lot of trips. Right, so let's go here and look for an exclusive car, because I'm under 30, they won't even show me cars that are for people for 30 plus. See, so let's do exclusive 25 plus. Okay, 112 trips with this Tesla, so Tesla kills it. 22 trips with this one because it's a little bit more expensive. So if you want a Tesla, looks like they're renting pretty well here, so that's an option. Land Rover 2 trips, Cadillac Escalade no trips, BMW i8. 16 trips, that's okay, but it's not good. You'd probably be able to rent it more if you lower the price. Or, you know, the renter could also, not the renter, the owner could probably also have some settings in here that aren't very well set up to rent the car fast. 2 trips, 3 trips, 16 trips, Porsche Boxster. So this is similar to mine. That 16 trips with this Boxster. Mine's got a lot more. Another Tesla. This one's a Model X. 57 trips, 1 trip, 3 trips, no trips. Maserati, BMW M3, 6 trips only. But yeah, from looking at it, the Porsche Boxster seems like a good one, which is why I bought one. And it rents quite a bit, and then you're gonna want to see the description that they put in. You might want to like take it and copy their description, just make it your own. See the review, see how he does it, and you're gonna have to set up your settings a similar way to be able to compete with this car. And if you price it even lower, and if your car is nicer, you may be able to even beat it. As you can see, like this one has 32 trips. It's 165 a day. Mine, over here has 63 trips because I lowered the price a little bit and still works for me. Another thing that might be good is like a Tesla, right? It's a Model X, $399 a day, and it's at 57 trips, so that might be a good car to get. Maserati, we've seen a couple of those here. Might be a good car to get. And this is all in Miami, maybe even this Corvette. Nice car. I'm not big into American cars, but if you are, that's great. Maserati Levante. So yeah, that's how I would do the research. Okay, next we're going to talk about should you buy or lease the car. And I bought both my cars with financing, obviously. But I probably should have leased the BMW because it was new. And that's one thing I wish I knew when I started. But let's take a look why. You go to cars.com. Let's say we wanted, the Maseratis were pretty good. Let's search for some Maseratis. There was a lot of them that were getting rented. Maserati. Miles. And before we do the filters, let's go find a comparable car. So see, let's get something like this. Maserati Ghibli 2014. He's renting it for $195 a day. And he's got 18 ratings, so that means he's rented it quite a few times. So 21 trips. And let's try to copy his car. Let's get a Ghibli. Price lowest, this one's probably so as you can see, at $195 a day, he's probably making $150 a day, and you can get these cars as low as $24,000. So let's see how much it costs to buy one. Let's see how much the payment is. $28,000. That's the average. Okay, let's just go and just so we can see how much a payment is. Then of course you have to know how to buy a car and figure all that out. But boom, this would cost less than this car would cost less than both of mine. So if you went and bought a Maserati, I just really don't like Maseratis. I tried one before and I think they're really heavy. But if you bought this car, you would be able to make the monthly payment on it in about 5 days. And then maybe the insurance will take you like 6 days, and then any other day is profit, or you can just drive it yourself, right? But the other thing you could do is lease it. So if we go to back and let's go for a new car, Maserati Ghibli, let's do all miles. I mean, yours are pretty new. Wow, this car really depreciates in a couple of years. Holy crap. Okay, 2008. I mean, I wouldn't buy this car new just because you saw the depreciation in 2 years is gonna be worth $30,000. And if you bought it new, it would cost that. Let's see, what's the price of lease? What would we lease it for? So you can lease it for $6.99 a month, but buying used is a lot cheaper, as you can see. Not every car is going to be like that, so you're going to have to check it out. But for this car in particular, I think buying it used is the better option. The other thing you could do, go to one of these lease swap sites, and you can take over a lease, so then you'll have it for less time. So let's see if we can find a Maserati. Right, so if you want to just try it, you don't want it, this is a really good way to go, because if you wanted to just try this business model and try driving a nice car and see how you feel, you'd only have to pay $500 to lease this car, and there's only 7 months left. You can drive for 1,300 miles a month for the 7 months. But the good thing about this is you're not making a huge commitment to buy the car. $679 a month. Miles per month, that's almost no miles per month. You already drove it. And I think you can even make deals with the owners. Like this one right here, you'd be able to rent it out 4 days out of the month and make its payment. And you'd only be making a 7-month commitment. The only problem is there's only 9,000 miles left. I mean, that's not really a problem. That means you just can't drive it more than 1,400 miles a month to stay within the lease. And the benefits of doing this lease swap site is that you're only making a 7-month commitment instead of making, you know, what was that used one that was nice? Instead of making a 60-month commitment. But if you get the right deal, you can also sell it after and even break even, if not lose money. But yeah, that's it. So you got to make your own decision. I prefer buying used cars just because, as you saw, the new Maserati Ghibli is about $80,000, and in 4 years the value dropped about $50,000. But if you also didn't want to make a commitment, I can see why you'd want to get a lease, because this, you're in for 7 months and then you're out. You can try the business, try the car out if you like it, and just do it. You know, you can switch cars as much as you want. I actually really like this. I'm about to see if I can get a Lamborghini with this swap lease thing. Is it a Lamborghini? No, there's no Lamborghinis here. McLaren. Ooh, much for McLaren. Oof, that's a lot of months. What else do they have here? Bentley, maybe they have an R8. I like R8s. One R8. Let's see. $1,600 a month for 13 months. Yeah, I can buy one. I can buy one for that price. Let's see, Ferrari. 2010 Ferrari, California. You drive it as much as you want for 24 months. That's not a bad deal. Ferraris too. This you could probably put on Turo for about maybe $800 a day. So you'd only need about 3 days to make your monthly payment. Other nice cars here. I'm thinking my next purchase may be a swap lease, so then I don't have to worry about it for a while. And not really. Let me see if there's an i8. Oh, there's a lot of them. Oof. Oh, that's a sponsored listing. Okay. Wow. $800 a month with 9 months left. That's a really good price. BMW might be a good one to do this for. Miles per month. Wow. Wow, I might just fucking I might actually get this. So see, some cars are better than others, because this one right here you could probably rent for like $400 or $500 a day. So 2 days would make your payment. Wow, that's really cheap. Why is it so cheap? So yeah, you might also want to check it out too. They don't have everything though. Mercedes. What about a Porsche 911? Months remaining. I care more about the months remaining just because, okay, wow, I can get a 2012 911 for $11.50 a month. Okay, that's not bad. 8 months left. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down to my parking garage and show you guys the cars. Here I got the keys, Porsche, and BMW. Now, since I live in an apartment, I have to park my cars in a parking garage. And fortunately, they only gave me 1 space, so I have to pay for the other one. It's an extra expense. Let's go. Hopefully no one's in the elevator and gonna see me like recording. Looking corny. It's like all kind of new to me, so. But yeah, so blah, blah, blah. Should be looking clean because just had Juan wash it. Somebody parks their scooter in front of me. This is it. Oh. Nice. Leather interior, pretty good. The good thing about this car is most people don't know how inexpensive it actually is. Turn it on. But it's pretty nice. The reason I got it, honestly, this one, I don't even like it as much as the BMW, is mainly because I knew it was gonna rent better. And that was the #1 reason I got it. I'm probably gonna sell this one soon just because I want to get something nicer, like a Lambo or something. But yeah, 2-seater, blah blah blah. Gets the job done. Kind of dark in here, but should be able to see. Now let me go down 1 floor. And I'm gonna take you guys to see the BMW, okay? Another convertible, and I mean, 1, I like convertibles, but 2, because convertibles just rent better in Miami for obvious reasons. Hey, how's it going? Go in. And this one's actually the car I really like. Push to start. This one's much smoother ride. Yeah, so this one's a much smoother ride, and yeah, this one for whatever reason doesn't rent as well. I actually know the reason. It's probably because it's M235i and it's a 4-seater. I realized people in Miami like 2-seaters more. There's also a bigger perceived value that the Porsche is worth more when I actually paid more for the BMW, which is interesting. That, along with, I think I have to compete with a lot of 4 Series BMWs that cost probably about the same amount. People don't know that the M235i actually has more horsepower than some of those 4 Series. But that's it. That's both my cars, and hopefully you got some. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. Leave any questions in the comments. If you want me to create another video, I can create another one answering all the questions you may have. And yeah, like, subscribe, you know, the whole works. So yeah, this is pretty much a side business, and if you run it like a business, it'll do well and you can make some serious money doing it. And you can also run it like a hobby. If you wanted just to pay off one of your cars that you have, you can do that as well. Now, it's kind of a hassle having more than one cars, and the only way that it still works for me is because I have my assistant doing it now, or else I wouldn't want to do it. One car is more than enough. And yeah, that's the best way to turn your liability into an asset. Okay, so those are the main reasons I bought my cars. Mainly, I didn't know too much about buying cars when I first started. I just winged it. And I went and I bought a BMW brand new. And as you saw, buying a car brand new is not worth it because of the depreciation and everything. Now, I am making the monthly payment just from renting it out, so I don't really mind, but I probably should have at least leased it when I bought it because the monthly payment would have been less. Now the Porsche, I did pretty good. I went and bought it. One thing that I did wrong was add an extended warranty. I didn't know that those were crap, so I probably will not do that again. Going with the swap lease is probably the best option if you just want to try this. Make sure it works for you instead of committing to a car. Another thing that I'm probably going to do in the future is now I even learn how to buy cars cheaper than they're going to be worth in 6 months. So that's one thing I'm going to be looking to do. If you guys want to learn some tips on how to buy cars better, just go to this website here. This is a webinar where I learn how to buy cars. Now, just like any webinar, at the end they're going to sell you a program if you want to buy it and really learn how to buy cars. But if not, this isn't mine. This is like one of my mentors, one of my car mentors. But this webinar is he actually teaches you about taxes and all this other stuff right on the webinar. You might be able to just finish the webinar and you're gonna have a lot more knowledge on buying cars than before the webinar. And if you want to get in the group and really learn a lot more, then you can also, get the program like I did, and I'm in the guy's program. So you might want to check that out. I'm also going to put in the description. If you guys got value out of this, leave me a comment, leave me questions. I'll try to answer them. Let me know if you want me to make another video about the same topic or any other topics I can make. Let me know. Subscribe if this is the kind of stuff you like to hear about. I'd love to hear from you guys.